put on your big girl shoes and just go, just run.
Yeah, shoot your shot.
Just run. Yeah, exactly. Just just shoot your shot.
I just realized that we never figured out our intro as Filipinoboos.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I think we had something, but it was like in Filipino, and then it's just like we wrote it down and we never visited it.
Yeah, what's up, Kapamilya?
Oh, Lord.
It's so slight. I'm sorry.
It's okay. It's all right. Well, what an intro. Okay, well, hi guys. If you guys are listening to this, we're just I don't know. Do you want to introduce yourselves?
Are we also like saying our character name too? Is that beneficial?
I mean, I have no clue at this point. I don't know
To,
how to
like,
start this.
the Spywi's Mind Palace.
Oh, so you're volunteering me then? Okay.
Well, no, we're I guess because you're posting it on your channel, right?
Yeah.
Sure. I mean, like, if you want to repost it to your channels, never mind. Okay. What is going on, guys? My name is Spywi of Spywi's Mind Palace. I am an amateur voice actor, an animator, and 1/3 of the Filipinoboos here.
Your turn, Maekan.
Me? You want me to go?
Yeah.
Jesus. Hello, my name is Maekan Koya. I'm the voice of Compassion for Spywi's Mind Palace, and I am a Webtoon ambassador, and I work with voice actors, and I voice act my own projects as well on my YouTube channel.
Yay.
Last but not least.
Hi, I'm Whizzy. Whizzy Rambles Whisper Chan. I have a lot of names. And I play Serenity on Spywi's Mind Palace. And I am just a creative nerd. I do art, I do voice acting, I do a little bit of everything. So, yeah.
All right. Yeah. Nice. I think that's all of us. We kind of just have a lot of different things going on and just not enough time in the day.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah. Alrighty then, so I guess we can kind of just do a little bit of catch up. So how have you guys been? We haven't really had our voices on this channel in a while.
That's true. It's been a hot minute since we actually got together to talk.
Yeah. It's been like 2 years, maybe.
I mean, what was the last time that we were all on something that wasn't like a Twitch live stream?
We were gonna do that Christmas cover in like 2017.
Oh yeah.
Oh right, yeah.
And then that just kept
I remember
getting pushed. That kept getting pushed back, and then like we just did our own covers of different things. Then voice acting happened, and then various things happened. VTubers happened.
Yeah, I'll just post it on SoundCloud.
Yeah,
we don't need a video.
Yeah, let's just post it on some obscure website and hope that no one finds
Call it good. Call it good.
Alrighty then. Well, what are we talking about today, guys? What's the topic?
Voice acting!
There we go.
Voice actors and voice acting, yeah.
Yeah, so, like you've probably heard from our intros, we're all some level of amateur voice actor, and we all voiced for various projects online, and we kind of just wanted to get into the topic of voice acting from our perspectives.
Yeah, obviously, take this with a grain of salt, because we're not professionals, we're not under a contract, we're not under a company. We do just have some knowledge about how the voice acting world goes, and so, it's beneficial to take some advice instead of any, or none, so, yeah.
Alrighty then. So, I think let's just go with one of the topics that we've written down. So, I volunteer Whizzy to pick a topic first.
What were our topics? Oh my gosh!
You wrote one down, didn't you?
I guess start with like how to get into voice acting. I think that was one of the topics, right?
Alright, yeah, we can go with that. So how to get into voice acting. I mean, how did you guys start with voice acting?
Maekan, you go first.
Mine's not as impressive. Okay, mine was like, it's not as cool as people would think. Mine was an impulse decision. So, like, I kind of, when I tell my story about it, I didn't know that, like, there was a voice acting community until later, maybe like 6 months after I started my YouTube career. So I kind of just did it for the visual aspect. But when I got into voice acting, 6 months into my YouTube career, I would probably say YouTube hobby, because I didn't really count it as a career at first. There were a lot more to look like there was a lot of stuff to look into when it comes to voice acting, rather than just talking to a mic and then just sending your lines in. It's a lot more, I don't want to say tedious. It's more so, I don't know, people are just picky and they have like they can't like can't talk.
You're good, Maekan.
It's just a lot more work than people would think.
Mhm.
But I still think it's an experience to go through because you get to be exposed by different people and like with their different types of craft.
Mhm.
But to revert back to how I got into it, it was an impulse decision that I did, and slowly but gradually, I realized that having a voice is also a type of art, and I wanted to make use of it. So it was mostly just trial and error. And then since then, it's kind of just like, okay, I have it, I guess.
Nice.
I guess.
Nice.
Please,
I
just
guess.
please cut out like at least like half of that.
No, that's good. That's good. I like it. I like it.
My
Good.
parents kept walking in like, when you close your window, or just close your window. I was like, please, I'm recording something. Don't do that. Don't walk in.
It's okay, at least it's not live.
True.
It's okay. Nobody heard that. For
Right.
them, it's like exactly like 2 to 3 minutes less than what we experience. So you're fine.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Beauty of voice acting. You can have so many bloopers you want.
Exactly.
You can cut it all out.
Yeah. Or leave it in.
It just everything
Or
goes
maybe
to
not.
post.
You know, maybe we can cut that out. You know?
Nice. Let's see. I can probably go next. Mine's a little bit shorter than most of you guys because I'm sort of the newest out of the three of us to kind of hop into voice acting. I guess it kind of started with just me liking being in front of the microphone, like recording and mainly singing for my other channel. And then I sort of got into reaction videos and learning how to be on camera, and that's sort of where I got comfortable recording myself. And then I discovered storytime animations, and that's sort of less of voice acting and more of just voiceover. So it's more of just like narrating a script. I think like the first time that I actually got pulled onto a project for voice acting was for, I won't say the name, but there's a YouTube channel that does a lot of comic dubs, and basically they asked if I wanted to voice for a couple of side projects as well as be an original character on their original show that they were creating. And so that was my first experience like working with a producer, working with a director, working with someone who was like directing me through lines, how to record stuff, and it's just a lot of like small learning experiences that went from like knowing absolutely nothing about it to like knowing how to mix and edit audio, knowing how to EQ things, and compositing audio together so that it actually sounds like a decent production. So yeah. And then there's the anime that I'm making.
Yeah.
So that's
Yeah.
that's a bit of a big jump from joining another project to making my own project. So it's a learning experience, and I'm really happy to have all this time to experiment and work on things. So yeah. Alrighty then.
I guess it's my turn.
There you go.
Disclaimer, I was one of those kids who was really into fandoms. So, you know, I was a Ninja Turtle girl, obviously. And we had a convention one summer. It's sort of like a Comic-Con convention. It's like probably the equivalent to it. And one of the Ninja Turtle voice actors were there, and we got to talking and about how, like, you know, I admired him and it'd be cool if I could to, you know, do stuff in the voice studio. And I was like, yeah, probably gonna regret this later, but he was really supportive of it. And then after since then, I know how to words. I just started looking at voice like stuff. Like so, like I think I was going onto websites like Behind the Voice Actors and then Casting Call Club just to start my career hobby. And then yeah, I started doing comic dubs. Tried networking. It's scary, but you know, it's what I did. And yeah, I'm fortunate for voice acting now because I get to meet cool people like Maekan and Spywi. and a bunch of other people.
Oh.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Nice. Yeah, I think I first discovered both of your channels because you were doing webtoon dubs and comic dubs in addition to singing. So,
Mhm.
yeah, how different do you think it is that webtoon dubs compared to other types of voice acting that you know of? Is there a difference or what do you think?
Personally, from my experience, I haven't experienced like a directing session that had from an industry or something.
Mm.
But a lot of people that I work with, I can kind of trust them enough to give them a script and then they could just send me lines back. In most cases, I think it's somewhat similar. I think it's just more so who's listening on who's behind the directing session.
Mhm.
Because I think there's one or two directing voice acting directors, right? But I think I've only had to voice direct a couple times, only for the people that I haven't worked with in a long time or just at all. But because sometimes there are actors that need help, right? Because they would deliver the line, but maybe it's something that you wouldn't really picture or you wouldn't really hear in a certain panel. But from my experience and from my opinion, I think they're somewhat similar. Maybe just a tad bit different, but I don't know the difference yet because I haven't gone through that experience yet.
Okay. How about you, Izzy? I know you've gone through a lot of different projects as well.
I'm such a terrible director. Yeah. They're not official webtoon dubs, obviously, but I have done some short comic dubs and some unofficial webtoon dubs. And I don't know, I feel like you just want to get the character down and their personality down, because obviously it's not just about the voice. The voice has to match the face. So sometimes when I'm listening to audition takes that I've set up for a certain project, I just want to make sure that the voice matches the personality and also the face, which is sort of hard because not a lot of people sort of fit that, requirement. I think it's a misconception that, you could voice this, but you can't really voice the character. Yeah. At least that's from my experience.
Okay. Yeah, with the projects that I've asked you and other people to work on, I've gone basically kind of what Maekan did, where I kind of send you guys the script and just have fun with it. I think I give even less instruction to some of you guys, especially Whizzy, because sometimes there are times where I just ask you, hey, can you just voice this line, and then you kind of go ham on it.
All right.
Yeah. I mean, I think if you recall, there was a time where I asked you to voice a terrible jokes video, and I kind of just let you pick the joke, and then you kind of turned it into this light side, dark side thing almost. I forget exactly what the joke was. It was something about dinosaurs and everyone being dead.
Yeah, he's Spywi.
Yeah.
Why can't dinosaurs clap?
Why?
Because they're dead.
That's the joke. There we go. But yeah, I don't know. Compared to some of the productions that you've done, Maekan, with Siren's Lament, I feel like the way that I'm at least writing the script and having people voice stuff, it's less dramatic, and I'm giving you guys a lot more freedom to kind of play around with the characters that I give you.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I think the only time that I've done actual voice directing was for Fig and Mori, two other people on my voice acting team for the Welcome to the Mind Palace anime, but I think they were the only ones where I actually gave okay, I kind of want the characters to sound this certain way and how they would talk in this sense and so on, or compared to this character. So yeah, it was very interesting, especially with I think Mori was the only one that I actually got on a call with, and we actually kind of cycled through different types of voices and little bits of directing here and there. But yeah, and she recently turned in all of her lines, so I can finally start editing some of her stuff. So I'm excited.
Yay!
Alrighty then.
Oh, I was telling Wizzy a couple hours ago that there is a lot of people who have a sudden interest in voice acting.
Mm.
Like the peak of interest just skyrocketed because earlier this morning my high school friend reached out to me, and I still talk to her, so like I talk to her like majority of the time. We play like, you know, games together and stuff. And she messaged me and was like, hey, so my coworker's boyfriend is interested in voice acting. Are you available to is it okay if I can send your Discord to him? I was like, oh, I mean, sure. I mean, why not? Because, you know, maybe there's somebody that wants to get into it, just doesn't know how, and then they just so happen to actually know somebody, or they know someone that knows somebody that knows how to get into it. But yeah, that was also something that I asked Wizzy, like, where are all these people coming from? Or more like, where is this sudden interest coming from?
Right.
Because I mean, we've had animated movies for like a long time. There's, you know, people who watch anime. There's like dubbed versions of animes, and I'm pretty sure, you know, that's been going on for like a while. But like, why now? Like, what happened?
That is interesting. I don't know. From my perspective, I see it as like the rise of like live streaming and people who are just getting all this gear and equipment to record. So like everyone's buying all the good microphones. Everyone's recommending like, oh, use this microphone, or you can do voice acting because it's like an easy stay-at-home job. Things like that.
True.
Like I've seen on, because I scroll through TikTok a lot, and there are some people who say like, oh, these are the top 5 like stay-at-home jobs, and one of them was just recording audiobooks. Like from my perspective, I'm just like, it's kind of a weird thing, but sure, okay.
I was actually looking at that for like extra cash.
Not
gonna lie. I was looking at it kind of like as a side job. Maybe
Yeah.
you just need some pocket money, so I could just start.
You could,
I mean, yeah,
you could.
You know, do what you have to get money, but like the rise in interest in voice acting is definitely real.
Oh yeah.
There was this one like TikTok that said that, oh, we're making a fan dub of this thing, link in bio to join the Discord, and I did. And the server was just crazy. It wasn't organized. There were no waiting lines for auditions, so everyone was just in a room waiting for the owner to figure out what to do.
Ooh.
And yeah, it was a mess. And I was like, oh gosh, there has to be like at least 100 or so people in this room trying to voice act. And most of them are like, you know, little kids. Or like, you know, around that age where they start exploring, or dare I say, you know, those type of adults who, yeah.
Oh boy. Yeah, I have had my fair share of all of that just all over the place, especially on TikTok. You guys have probably seen and heard me complain about it a lot, but I don't know, for those of you out there listening who are new, like I mentioned, I make my own show, and for some reason a lot of those clips went viral on TikTok, and then I just started getting hundreds and hundreds of comments saying like, hey, do you need voice actors? Hey, can I be a voice actor? How do you be a voice actor? And sometimes it's literally on clips that have your guys' voice acting or other people's like voice acting. I'm just like, you guys, people do realize that I have a full voice team, right? Apparently not. And that just sort of went into an entire like side train on my account where it's like, I actually made like a whole series where people like were asking to voice act, and then I actually looked at their TikTok accounts, I looked at their YouTube channel if they linked it. Absolutely nothing with their voice. Absolutely no like projects that they've been a part of, no demo reels. Like I've literally only had 3 people that have reached out to me that were very professional, and they were legitimate like voice actors. I think one of them is like an ASMR YouTuber as well. And so,
well, it's something. It's better than nothing.
It's better than nothing. And like compared to like a lot of people who, like, I just posted a bit about this recently. Somebody said that they were an quote unquote intermediate voice actor since the age of 12. You guys, I told you about this one. And then I asked them, okay, if you are an intermediate voice actor, can you send me a demo reel? And they legitimately commented, what's a demo reel?
It just breaks my heart. Honestly.
Yeah, it's just insane.
Yeah.
There's a lot more work than people should realize,
Mm-hmm.
especially if you're trying your best to network. Because obviously there's going to be other people that's also interested, but the director's not just going to look at you, think that you're different from the others, and just pick you from like the crowd.
Mm-hmm.
Like you have
Right.
to show your worth. I guess that's the best way to put it.
Mm-hmm.
Because you really need to make yourself like stick out. Like what's one thing that you can do that you think or know for sure that people can do? And it's hard to do that with just your voice, because
Mhm.
you need to like have some training, take some lessons if you really want to make that as a profession.
Mm-hmm.
But even as people like us who kind of just do it for fun and even have like the slightest experience, or having to do this for like years, I mean, it kind of just accumulates, and I guess the expectations are kind of just like there.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, like, there have been some good like examples though. Like some people that have, I think there was one person that joined the Discord that actually sent in like Instagram posts of some of their work. They've done like fan anime dubs. They've done like, they have their own demo reel, and I like it when people are very professional about how they approach like casting directors. I much prefer like saying like, hey, I know you're not looking for auditions, but here's my demo reel. Hopefully you consider me for a future project. Like I'm more
Right.
willing to look at that than somebody who yells at me, I'm 12, I'm bored, can you let me voice act for you?
Mhm.
And yeah, I don't know.
That's true.
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely more nuanced than people think it is. Because it's not like, oh, I could do voices, I could become a voice actor. It's just like, people are picky. There's certain equipment that you have to use, and it could be expensive depending on your budget.
Mm-hmm.
So even if you want to take an approach to it, like professionally, you still have to have all these things, even as a hobby. Like, it could be like the worst microphone out there. Or having a Blue Yeti, which isn't ideal for voice acting, but people still use it.
Mm-hmm.
And,
Yeah.
it's just a bunch of stuff that people don't really realize. Like, you need to start working on your, I guess, quote unquote, resume and just show people what you could do, basically. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's why I tell people, like, at the very least, just post your voice somewhere, even if you don't feel like your voice is the best, because like nobody's voice is the best at the beginning.
Right.
Yeah.
And, like, that's just how we gain experience. So yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
And even then, I feel like it's just hard to get noticed because you have to be unique in your own way.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, I don't know. When I listen to voice actors for references, I see like they have like these, I don't know, specific nuances to their voice specifically. So you could tell that it's like a certain voice actor, you
Mhm.
know? But and then like you can't really replicate it. So it's just hard to be unique, but also get noticed. If you're trying to be like people just saying ooh woo is not like gonna get you noticed right away, you know?
I mean, to be fair, TikTok would take that and make that viral, as opposed to like Twitter, where you're trying to be professional.
Right. I guess it also depends on the platform that you're trying to reach out.
True.
Yeah, because I know somebody who does like really good like Shigaraki and Dabi impressions, and he got pretty far in voice acting from that, doing other impressions. So it's not just like voice acting in general. Sometimes you can sound like somebody else, and that can also get you work as well.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah, because I think there are a few people who have done like dub work to like replace certain other voice actors in case they couldn't make it. I think one of the best examples is the newest Hotel Transylvania movie. Adam Sandler's not going to be playing Drac. It's going to be voiced by Brian Hull, of all people. And so, like, even if you can do like a good impression, that can get you pretty far, like in places.
Yeah, impressionists have an advantage, sure. Especially if the popular or the character that they're doing an impression of is popular.
Yeah, definitely. Okay. Maekan, let's go with one of your topics.
That was one of them. Wait, hold on.
Yeah.
Let me go back.
No worries. 'Cause that kind of checked off two of my topics already.
What about Networking.
Oh
Hmm.
God.
That's always
Because
fun.
I had to do that recently too.
Yeah.
Because networking is actually it's pretty difficult to do.
Especially if you're an introvert. Like, ooh,
It's
no.
really hard.
Yeah, for sure.
Because this kind of reverts back to the topic of being professional, because obviously being professional is a big thing to have. When you are professional to somebody, you leave an impression, and that person will remember it. And that's why I think with networking, first impressions are the key. And it's especially nerve-wracking is when you have to network to somebody that you know that they do this type of work like professionally.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's always that phrase, and I kind of just go by it too. There's no harm in asking.
Yeah, definitely.
Like
That's 100%.
it's because it's like you never know. Like I don't think I ever spoken to you guys about the experience that I had like a couple weeks ago, but there is never, like, if there's going to be a chance for you to talk to somebody or network with somebody, you might as well just take it, because you don't know when it's going to come back.
Right.
So and I think at that moment you just have to calm yourself down, take a deep breath, and then kind of just put on your big girl shoes and just go, just run.
Yeah, shoot your shot.
Just run. Yeah, exactly. Just shoot your shot, because there really is no harm in asking. All they're gonna
Right.
do is just say no.
Yeah, the worst.
Yeah.
The worst is they can say no.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but that's also kind of that's the con, right? They say no, because then what are you gonna do next?
You just gotta work on yourself. That's
Exactly.
I mean,
But-
I definitely can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think networking is something. It's also a learning experience. You kind of just you learn as you go.
Right.
But it's also kind of like, if you want to go, you have to actually get up and do it.
Mm-hmm.
Because speaking as an introvert, one out of the three introverts here, yeah, it's just go do it. Just go.
Insert
For
Shia
sure.
LaBeouf meme here.
The worst will
Do
pass.
it.
Like the worst thing will pass. Just go
Yeah.
do it. You'll be fine.
You'll be fine, honestly.
Yeah.
From my personal experience. Oh God, I can't believe I'm talking about this. But again, I had another convention here. There were a bunch of My Hero English voice dub actors, and one of them was actually the casting director for My Hero. She's also the voice of Momo. And on one of the days where they were having like a meet and greet, I went up to her and I was like, "You're working on like season 4, right? With Aerie. Do you have like a set voice for her yet?"
Oh,
And I think I mentioned this to you in Spywi before, but I asked her and I was like, "Yeah, is it possible if I could like, give a shot at doing like an Aerie voice, And obviously I was rejected because I was just a crazy fan, obviously. But I learned. She just told me to send in a resume, demo reel, and we'll see where it goes from there. And I did all the things. I worked on myself. Just shoot your shot, and then even if you miss it, there's still another chance. Eventually, maybe around the road.
Yeah, definitely. And at the very least, it's a good story to tell people. It's like you talked to one of the voice actors and you shot your shot.
Yeah, I shot my shot.
exactly.
I didn't get the best outcome, but I'm still working on to be recognized. Hashtag cast Whizzy 2021.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Like
There
it.
we go.
Regardless.
Gotta hit it with that plug.
Yeah, selfish. Self-promoting,
gosh.
it's fine.
Yeah. For me, networking kind of goes both ways because I've reached out to people and people have reached out to me. I think one of the biggest examples is actually both of you, because you both have reached out to me separately based off of my music channel, and look where we are now.
Yeah.
I mean, heck, I was the one that introduced the two of you to each other. I forget exactly
Yep.
what year that was, but you guys ended up meeting at a con, and I was just like the in-between text person.
Definitely maybe around 4 years ago.
Ooh, yeah. And then you
Yeah.
both kept getting lost or like just missing each other, and then
Yeah, just barely.
just barely. Then I was like worried that you guys weren't gonna meet, and then that happened, and then yeah, like I said, here we are.
And then I networked with Maekan. Yay!
I honestly love telling that story. How we met was just
It's
by
so crazy.
like, I want to say accident, but it was more so just like a really strange coincidence.
Right, yeah.
And evolved into
Hey.
chaos at some point, but still.
Yeah, but it's
I
a good
mean,
chaos. You know, it's good.
I'm basically her little sister now, so that's cool.
Yep. And she stuck with me.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, and not even just like with voice acting, it's just like, at least for me, I just know people based off of like who I know. So like I knew a bunch of people, or I met a bunch of people through mutual friends of Maekan, through mutual friends of Whizzy, and I don't know. It's like once you get your foot in the door and network with that one right person, just all the doors open up.
Yep,
Right.
that's true.
Because it's like,
That part is definitely true.
yeah. So it's like for Maekan, Miss Webtoon Ambassador Extraordinaire.
Ooh.
Oh my, that's so fancy.
Yeah, I know, right? It's like we can say that we are friends with a Webtoon ambassador, like,
Yeah.
and at the same time, you can say that you're friends with someone who is making an anime. You can say you're friends with somebody who's aspiring to be a VTuber.
Yeah.
Wizzy. I don't even know what I am at this point.
You're Whizzy.
Yep.
But it's like, yeah, it's those connections that we make that at the end of the day, even if we don't get the project, even if we don't get the role, we're still able to like tell good stories and introduce ourselves to people.
Mhm.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know. For me, in terms of like introvertedness, and you guys both know this, but I am very bad with reaching out to people, like almost insanely bad.
Aw.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, I think I can say this part, but it's like there have been times where I was like scared to reach out to people, and like I was expecting like voice lines, and I just, either I didn't like want to follow up, or I was too scared to like try and be the person to put their foot down, and so like certain lines that I was requesting ended up being delayed for like almost exactly a year. Like it was that bad.
Mhm.
And so I don't know, like as much as I like networking, there's just something about like just talking to people that scares me, if that
Right.
makes sense. Because it's like when you're reaching out to somebody, you're being all professional, but then it's like afterwards you become mutuals, and it's like, okay, so what do we do now?
Yeah.
How do we converse? And then it just devolves into awkwardness.
Yeah. True. It's I had something to go with that, but I kind of forgot. It'll probably come back to me.
Mhm.
But yeah, never mind. It'll come back to me.
That's fine. But yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I usually let someone hold my hand during the process of networking. So I met a lot of people thanks to Maekan when she introduced me into like Alley server, and there's like just a bunch of people there. So I
Mhm.
made a lot of good friends and a lot of connections that I could potentially use down the road, which it was like a good thing. I got like a treat and a dessert for later down.
Alrighty then. Let's see, what other topics then, if we don't have anything else to add for this. Yep.
One of my final questions is that how do you think it's voice acting then? Like for me, when I first started, it was like 2016, right? How do you think it's different compared to how it is now?
Like what's our time span?
Like I want to say like 4 years, 4 or 5
In
years.
the past 4 years and 5? I guess from my experience, voice acting was sort of like a hit or miss, in terms of
Yeah.
like a job and
Yeah.
as a hobby in itself, because people would just submit stuff,
Yeah.
and you would just get it whether or not. But there is a new peak of interest in voice acting now, and I think it's, funneling towards either being professional or solely being a hobby,
Yeah.
At least that's my perspective of
Yeah. Definitely from back then, it was a lot easier, in my opinion, to see what kind of potential people have, because you actually have the time to look into things and to, if you can, like, you can help them and, give them a bit of guidance. And then now with the sudden peak, like maybe like 5 years later, And people are off doing their own things. Maybe the voice actors that you used to work for aren't really into voice acting anymore. So you kind of just have to network with other people and then work around their schedules and their work style. It's a lot harder and much more rare to see what kind of potential that somebody can have. Also, this is just something from my experience. There's a lot more, or this is something from like my point of view. People consider it as a competition. A lot of people try to run and get themselves out there so fast, and try to have as many roles on their resume, just so that they can say that they were a part of something rather than actually enjoying what they do. I guess that's the reality aspect of the voice acting industry. There's a lot of people who I've seen like from the sidelines. I would see them running just to try to see if they can get certain roles, and then just talk about like, hey, I was in a voice in this or something, or you could totally hear me as something like from this show or something. Despite it being small, it's not really you're not really having fun at this point. It's just more like who has a better role. I guess I don't know if that led off towards what I was talking about, but I guess that's something that's far more different than it was before than it is now.
Yeah.
But I think that's just because like I've been in the industry for too long, and I've just been noticing all the little things now. So yeah, that's my little spiel.
Yeah, no, I could definitely see that with like not just in voice acting, but just like everything online seems to be a competition at this point, and like it's all about the numbers, whether it be like and to your point of like running before like you're ready. It's like I've seen people who just try to jump in and buy the most expensive mic, the most expensive like computer and audio system, and subscribing to Adobe Audition, and just doing all the things without first focusing on like the skill and the acting. Because like you can have the best microphone in the world, but if you can't really like voice act, then that microphone is just a paperweight.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like to that point, like there have been so many people commenting on my videos saying like, how do you be a voice actor? And then I just say the same thing that the voice actor for Paimon has said on TikTok many times. It's take acting classes, take voice acting workshops, go to iwannabeavoiceactor.com and look up resources. And like I see some of the responses from me telling them that, and they're just like, oh, but that's too hard, or I don't have time, or I don't have the money. And it's like, yeah, well, you gotta put in the time in order to gain the experience.
Right. Even if you don't have necessarily the money to do all this stuff, you could just start by like making silly voices, and then or just like doing impressions, because that's usually that's how I started, and that's where I am now.
Yeah. And to that point, it's like so many other people have like said for ages, it's like you don't need like the best quality mic to make it big, because
right.
The microphone that I recommended to you, the Elgato Wave 3, hashtag not sponsored.
Yeah.
But like it's not the best microphone, but it's like cheap enough, and it's a good beginner microphone to get you going. Because as opposed to like trying to make it big with like the super high quality Neumann microphones that like CDawg VA has, it's like you're just wasting money at that point. You're not really like practicing. You're not really like learning how to edit or mix audio. And so yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, just I don't know. Yeah, no, I agree, because like every time I'm on Casting Call Club, like directors are very picky because they think a microphone will determine how good their voice actor is. Like sometimes they're just like, have a good quality microphone compared to must have an XLR mic to be part of this dub or something. And it sort of hurts.
Yeah.
When you can't afford an XLR, but you have to make do with what you have.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, like the first like animations that I asked you to voice act for, I think you're still using the Blue Yeti?
Still using it, baby.
Still using it. See? So it's like And then I look at the comments on the videos and everybody loves your character Serenity. So like
Right.
the quality of the mic doesn't matter. It's the quality of the voice behind the mic.
Obviously, the quality of the mic will matter down the road if you
Mhm.
want to do stuff professionally, but like if you want to do stuff like what Spywi is doing, or just like making fun comic dubs or doing webtoon dubs, it's it's just about the voice.
Yeah. I mean, like there have been people that have made entire careers literally off of the half broken microphones on their iPads.
Yeah, it's pretty astonishing.
Yeah.
Like honestly, this isn't voice acting related, but he is a singer, and I've listened to him for God knows how long. But his name is Ash, or Ashes to Ashes, JC. He's on YouTube.
Mm.
He has that nice deep voice. And when he was starting on YouTube, he was like using one of those headset microphones
Mhm.
to sing and mix, and his quality of work is just amazing for what it was.
Yeah, definitely. And like in terms of just like quality of audio, like once you get to a certain price point, like you're not going to notice a difference, to be honest.
Right.
Like I have a good example here. Like I was one of those that jumped the gun a while ago and I got the podcasting mic, the Shure SM7B, the really oblong one, and then I recently got the Elgato Wave 3, and I was just like messing around with some of the settings and mixing, and like nobody can tell the difference when I'm using one mic or the other. So it's like once you get past a certain point, it's like expensive mics don't matter. It's really a matter of how you use your voice.
Right. Like if anything, a good USB condenser mic could be on par with like an XLR mic.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, take it from Maekan.
Yeah, I recently switched from a USB, no, a Blue Yeti to a USB condenser mic, which is pretty good because now I can just cancel out any white noise, and that's all I need technically.
Yeah. I mean, if you know how to do noise reduction and a little bit of EQ, you're basically like way further than
You're
most
set.
people.
Yep.
Yeah, and sometimes not even that. Sometimes you just send the raw recording and the person editing the audio does the rest.
Yep.
Yep. Why leave everything to Spywi?
Yeah.
I'm the resident mixer of the family here, and
Right.
it's just because it's like some of the other skills that I've built up over years of like music and just practicing how to edit audio, edit videos, and yeah, some people want to jump ahead, but honestly, sometimes it takes years to get to the point where like you feel like you're at the same level as the quote unquote professionals. And even then, I'm speaking for all of us, but I don't think that we feel like we're at the professional level at all.
Oh God, no.
No.
Yeah. So, yeah. So, again, take it with a grain of salt. We're not professionals.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Let's see. Anything else you want to add to this topic? I've got a couple more things I could talk about.
Go ahead.
So I've been seeing, we mentioned TikTok a lot because, well, yeah.
Right.
But it's a good comparison because I've seen a lot of projects being advertised on TikTok. There's like this, it looks like a children's show animation, kind of like Paw Patrol almost, but it's a project in the studio that is asking for voices, and they're actually reaching out to TikTok and asking for auditions.
Really?
And yeah, it's very interesting because it's like some of them are just like stitch this video or duet this video and just voice along with the lines, and it's kind of like those auditions where it's like you have the count in and then you just read the script.
Yeah.
It's similar to that, and there are people that are apparently finding their like voice actors off of places like TikTok, which you would not think is a good place for voice actors. But like compared to like Twitter, where I see like the most professionalism, that's where most voice actors I've seen post their demo reels, post like voice announcements. So I kind of wanted to see what you guys thought about like casting calls in general, like on professional sites versus like the more social media sites.
Whizzy, do you want to go first?
I guess I could, yeah.
Yeah.
It really depends on the platform, because obviously TikTok is, dare I say, targeted towards a younger audience. So like you won't
True.
obviously get more experienced voice actors or people trying to get into the voice acting community, as opposed to like Twitter or other voice acting casting call sites. So, you know, it really is just you either get it or you don't.
Yep.
And even then, like projects that are advertised on like sites like TikTok could be a little sketchy, because I wouldn't trust TikTok to like properly advertise an upcoming thing without being like, wait, hold up. Do I have to send in my information? What are the details into going to this?
Yeah, I agree with that, like 100%. Because with Twitter, a lot of a lot of people, even celebrities, at least have a Twitter, because Twitter is also considered like technically a LinkedIn. And if you don't know what LinkedIn is,
Huh, you're
it's
too young.
LinkedIn is technically a site where you post your resume and then you kind of just job hunt. Like, people have an interest with work, and then you can just reach out to them if they have their DMs open or not. But with Twitter, there's definitely a lot more of a professional side. And I think it's also just because it's browser, like there's a browser, like a website, rather than TikTok. Like, no offense to it, but I don't think, well, there is a like TikTok has a website like on browser, but it's not as efficient as Twitter, because TikTok is solely made, I think, for mobile, and it's formatted like that. Even when you upload something, like you have to make it like what, 1:16 or something. So the dimensions are obviously made for vertical. So, and reverting back to that, it really does depend on the platform, for sure, because you never know who's gonna see it. Because sometimes there could be celebrities, or celebrities who have a TikTok. It's just for fun, for like giggles or something, rather than posting professional work, or who really try to make their TikTok as like as professional as it can be. I don't know the right word, but I think you would just have to work extra hard if you're trying to get into voice acting professionally, and then your first link to network with them is TikTok.
Right.
Because I think there is a slight reputation with TikTok.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I feel like it's just because I feel like TikTok is definitely a trend that may or may not go away. It's sort of like Vine or like Musically, where like people were obsessed with it, and then when other platforms started showing up, people started, going over there. Yeah. So just like make use with what you have at your disposal and just start networking, showing what you could do.
Yeah.
I say this because it's like, it's going a little bit back into the whole professionalism thing, but it's like, I've gotten so many DMs from people, and like, you might have even seen some people joining my Discord server and just asking like, hey, when are auditions open? When are like, when can I start? When can I start? Or how can I start? And it's just like, I guess the problem with TikTok versus like Twitter is the fact that Twitter, you can make announcement posts and you can say like, hey, auditions are from here to here. People can share it very easily. You can comment, you can tag other people. And then like, you get a person on TikTok who commented on a video that I posted like 3 weeks ago, and like, they don't realize that I've already posted like 500 other videos saying like, hey, I don't need voice actors. And that's happened multiple times. And it's still happening to this day. So, yeah.
With Twitter, when you post a casting call, it's much more, it's way easier, because you could see it. If you're following a said person, you could see it right away. Compared to like casting call, you have to kind of like filter out certain words to get something that you want.
Right.
But then the downside for posting a casting call on Twitter it's ultimately who actually retweets it and
Yeah.
who you're connected to.
Mm-hmm.
So, because like when I posted a casting call for a webtoon dub, thankfully there were people that were interested, started retweeting it. Because if your work shows that it's like somewhat professional and like it's actually worth auditioning to, you will get auditions. I mean, look at Spywi's anime.
Yeah.
You were right. Yeah.
So you will get auditions if your work actually, or if your work shows that it's legit.
Mm-hmm.
But then again, it's also who do you know and where can you get connected to and where can you like, I guess that's a start of where you can get your foot through the door.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it kind of sums up to, in my opinion.
Yeah, no, that's excellent. Yeah. And I think like not so much the biggest problem, but I guess like it's sort of like you go to someone's like Twitter account and you expect to see like a link to their website, a link to like a demo reel. Like a good example is like Ben Callant, another person on the voice team. Like
Habit.
love Ben. It's like he's got his website linked. We know exactly how to find like his YouTube channel, where to find his demo reels. Everything is sort of pinned like really nicely.
Mm-hmm.
And then like on the flip side, you have like kids on TikTok who think that they're the best voice actor, and then like no offense to those kids, but it's like I see some of their stuff and it's like 90% Roblox accounts. And so
No shame on Roblox.
no shame
but
on Roblox,
listen.
but it's like with a Twitter account, I can at least go to the page and see that, oh, this person is actually serious about being a voice actor, or this person has a demo reel that I can easily see.
Yeah.
And like even if they're not like auditioning for something, even if they're not doing anything, if I stumble across somebody's page and I go to their account, I'm more likely to follow somebody who at the very least looks more professional, as opposed to someone with a Roblox or Goku profile picture.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it's not to shame any like
Yeah.
Roblox roleplay or like Minecraft roleplay, because
Mhm.
there are some series that are, very well done.
Mm-hmm.
But it ultimately depends on the quality of the work. If you're just voicing characters like to make like a short little story of like how your boyfriend broke up with you, that it's not gonna work.
Right. Like I've seen some like Sims productions that are like almost movie quality. And
Right.
like
Mhm.
when I posted my demo reel to Twitter, somebody actually reached out to me and asked if I wanted to voice for their Sims production. And I looked at their work and it was just like, wow, this is like cinema quality if it wasn't Sims. You know what I mean?
Right. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So yeah. I don't know. It's really interesting the way that social media influences like so much of how we can get like land gigs and stuff.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like sometimes it's like easier to network now that we have it, but sometimes it's like I don't know.
Yeah, I feel like I don't know. The voice acting journey is definitely like different for everyone, especially like when I check, professional voice actor like backstories of how they started to get into the field.
Mhm.
Like some people get agents, some people take acting classes and then start looking for voice acting jobs, or my personal favorite is Griffin Burns because he's a gremlin, but he was just an actor, and someone along the road just found his voice, I won't say, but but found his voice very attractive and had him set to do just anime roles and Genshin roles.
Yep.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I don't know. There's also the fact that it's like when people like, especially like the more professional people, when they give certain advice, sometimes it's like it can be kind of intimidating. If you know
Yeah.
what I mean? So it's like some people are saying like
Mhm.
take voice acting lessons, and it's like maybe I can't afford voice acting lessons. Or like somebody said, make a demo reel, and then you look up how to make a demo reel, and sometimes it says, oh, this costs like thousands of dollars. You need a producer, you need a writer, and that can be really like discouraging to some like newer voice actors. So like if you guys were to give like just a piece of advice or like some sort of encouragement or advice to like new voice actors, what would you guys give?
I don't want to be like that person because I still don't know what I'm doing, but
Same.
Like just from like our experience right now.
I would say have fun with it. Don't think too much about it. Because when you display I guess when you're starting out and then you're kind of expressing how fun you're having, people would want to work with you because they would think that's a genuine emotion that you're going through while you're recording. Because people don't want to work with somebody who's like, here, just take this and just give me like a role or something. Like, no one wants to work with somebody who's very hard-headed or someone that is not very open with their idea. So I guess just if you want to start, be yourself and just have fun with it. Because if there's somebody that's going to judge you, then you should kind of just you will be your own judge, I guess. Be your own judge and kind of just learn from it and just have fun, I think.
Yeah. I don't know. I guess my only advice is just to keep practicing.
Yeah. That too.
Voices just don't appear out of nowhere, Like, you gotta work on it. You gotta workshop it to be perfect to, like, what people want it to be. Like, you can't just use your regular voice and, like, people will be like, yeah, that's good, Obviously, there are limits to what voices people could do. So just do as many voices as you can and put it under your belt and call it good. Show people what you got.
It doesn't even have to be like impressions either. If you have like a very good sense, or if you have fun expressing different types of emotions, that's also considered voice
Yeah,
acting
that's
too.
pretty good.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I know that you can go.
Oh, yeah. Go.
Okay, well, I know like Jack, who's also part of our dub team.
Yeah.
He's very passionate with yelling, which I think is why a lot of people are drawn to him because he like doesn't hold back.
Yeah, it's so rare to find an actor who can just yell on command and have so much emotion.
Right, and he's
good.
like only has like a couple voices in his belt, so
Yep.
it really doesn't matter. Just be passionate.
Yeah. I think for me, in particular, being the one with the least amount of projects under my belt, I would say one of the biggest like reservations that I've seen a lot of people tell me is that they just don't like their voice, or that they don't like posting their voice. They don't like other people hearing their voice. But at the same time, they want to be a voice actor. And take it from somebody who spent years like struggling to like post a lot on the internet. It's just to post your voice and to keep on doing it. And sometimes you just gotta like with some like caveats, but like don't care about what other people think. If it's like constructive criticism on how to improve your voice, then definitely take whatever like constructive criticism or advice that you can take, especially like if you're doing it for like a workshop, or somebody's helping you like with voices, or someone's giving you critiques. Like take as much advice as you can, and then use that and improve the next thing that you post. And like it goes the same for social media. Sometimes it takes like 100 different tries before you land something that clicks. Like I'm pretty sure that like Whizzy, you're still trying to figure out the Serenity voice after all this time.
Yeah, it comes and goes.
Yeah.
Like, it's between, like, a soft voice to, like, a white girl.
Exactly. So it's like even for me with my character, it's like I'm still trying to nail down a voice that doesn't sound like Ben voicing Dreamer. So like you gotta just keep on like what was said earlier, you gotta keep on practicing and get used to having your voice being heard by other people. Because otherwise, like, what good is a voice actor who hates their own voice and doesn't post it anywhere?
Right.
So I don't know.
Even then, if you hate your voice and trying to be a voice actor, well, hello, you're a voice actor. Change your
Woo!
voice. You have the
Yeah.
ability to change your voice now,
Welcome
so
to
that's
the
a compliment.
club.
We're like the greatest chameleons ever. We just change everything.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and like to that point, even if you don't like your voice, somebody else will like your voice.
True.
True.
Like I was on a live stream once and I was just talking in my normal voice and someone said that my voice sounded so soothing that they can fall asleep to it.
Which they're true.
Hey,
And-
take
Valid.
advantage of that.
And then
Doing
that
ASMR right now.
and then somebody else professed their love to me and I was just like, "Oh, well, okay.
Whoa.
Bye. Bye."
Whoa, okay.
So, yeah. But the whole point of that was like, even if you don't like your voice, like if you continue working on it, like you'll eventually learn to love it because other people will love it as well. So, yeah.
Yes, I agree 100%.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Let's see. Did we have any other topics that we didn't cover or something that you guys wanted to bring up?
Oh, you covered all mine.
No, I can't think of any more.
All right. Well, we've been recording for over an hour at this point, so I think we can consider this official Filipinoboo podcast concluded.
Yay.
Ooh.
Hey.
That was been a
Congrats,
while.
congrats.
Let's do it again, guys.
100%.
Yeah, no,
Next year.
this was fun. We need to do that again where we like come up with a list of topics and kind of just like bounce off of that.
Mm-hmm.
That way it's not just, dead silence while we figure out what to talk about. So,
Got you. Next topic will be artistic burnout.
Oh my god.
jumping right into the thick of it, aren't you, Wizzy?
Yeah.
Into the thick of it.
Oh boy.
Into the thick of it.
And there's the DMCA claim. Alrighty then, guys. Well,
Yay.
alrighty then. We don't have an outro either. So, yeah. Do either of you have anything you want to shout out that you guys have going on in the next couple months or so?
Oh, make sure to follow Spywi's anime progress
Yeah.
on TikTok.
Okay.
Yeah.
Spywi and Maekan on the respective
No,
channels.
Spywi's part. Spywi's
Yeah,
part.
specifically Spywi.
And Wizzies, yeah.
Hashtag Cast Whizzy 2021.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
And Maekan, make sure to follow her channel. She does a lot of webtoon ads.
I do.
Alrighty then. Well, with that being said, I guess that's the end of the podcast. So thank you guys for listening in, and I don't know, bye.
Bye, Inga.
We'll go with that. Not bye. Okay.
Nailed it.
Nailed it.
Nailed
Let's
it.
go.
Jeez.
And I would change for you. I break these walls too. And I would change just for you.